Hi guys, answering another question today. So it's about how do I find my niche if I felt indifferent when it came to my studies in marketing. So this is a complicated one because my view is work and pleasure should be two completely different things. If you can get a bit of enjoyment out of work, that's absolutely great. It's one of the main reasons I still do care work, even though I do marketing, because I absolutely love working in care. It is one of the most fulfilling experiences in my life, although it doesn't pay nearly as well. So when it comes down to your niche, you shouldn't be focusing necessarily on what you really want to enjoy doing. What you should generally do is try and keep that separate from your life so that you never get bored of it, you never get upset with it, and it never basically bleeds into the things that you actually enjoy, alienating you and making you feel depressed. Because the thing is, over time, marketing can be really draining, especially if you're focusing on it as much as I do. So when it comes down to it, finding your niche, it could be something completely different. For example, when it came down to trying to get my YouTube channel monetized, my other YouTube channel, I released a load of Space Station 13 content because I made one or two videos and they did really well, and they became really popular, and that got my channel monetized. So basically, I focused on I'm not saying that Space Station 13 is a bad game. It's an amazing game, but the thing is, I couldn't play it every single day and all the time. But I made a huge amount of content for it, and I got my channel monetized in a couple of months, and that was really good because it was not because it was something that I wanted to do particularly, but it was something that was really interesting. They've got a really good following, and Space Station 13 is full of amazing people. So by finding a niche like that, I was able to get the channel monetized. Now, how does this relate to really marketing and marketing content? Now, I like restaurant marketing. I find it the easiest form of marketing to do. It's easy, it's effective, and because all of the basic channels are really easy to cover, like your social media, your business profile, it's very easy to use photographs and get really good responses from just photographing food. People are naturally drawn to nice looking food. So when it comes down to it, I think restaurant marketing is a great niche to go into. There is loads of competition in the niche, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, what you've got to do is just know that you're better than your competition, because the majority of the time you're dealing with a generalist marketing firm that just so happens to do a bit of work with restaurants. But if you actually focus entirely on restaurant marketing and you learn all of the different secrets to it, and there are so many brilliant little techniques that you can learn to get your restaurants to really shine. Because the thing is, making a business shine is the most important part. If you can do that and gather a couple of case studies together, you can really build a name for yourself very quickly as the go-to guy in the area when it comes to getting restaurants out there. Now, in my local area, the local guy to go to is a guy called Gary. He's my previous boss, and I still work with him. I help him set up systems. I help him go through different things. I help him with things like SEO when it comes to websites. I do all manner of different work with him, and having that kind of relationship's really good. So any solo marketers that work in specific niches that you're able to cover, you should get out there and meet them and start to get to know them. Now, I do know him because he used to be my ex-boss, but at the same time, he's still someone I'm really happy to work with, and we basically find each other work all the time, which is really good, because there are people who reach out to me who Gary is a better fit for them. So having that kind of relationship can be really good. You can get your sites, you can link them in together, make each other powerful, and that's something that you're just not going to get as a marketing company. So think about it like find a niche that you think is going to work for you. Gyms are a good niche to do. However, they tend to go with specialist companies. There are loads of people who've made money out of working with gyms. There was a while where when I was working with the marketing company that I worked with before, we were focusing on salons. We had really good systems that we put in place for them that were really good for customer retention, bringing people in, sort of things like spas, pampering services, things like that. But ultimately, restaurant marketing was the best one. So when it comes to when it comes to thinking about marketing, I recommend choosing a niche in which things are easy. So you're going to be able to go in there and do stuff easy for people. And you will have been trained in many, many aspects of marketing when you've studied it. So when it comes to bringing things across, you'll be able to weave as much into the local area, what the local area expects from this kind of business. You'll be able to figure out when you're sort of casing the area and looking at all the different other companies that are in competition, find out what the most effective strategies are that they're using, bring it in, use it for these businesses, become really, really good at it, and practice doing this. And once you've done it for a couple of businesses, even if you start off and you're doing it for free, because I started off, I was doing stuff for free. I did take a little bit of money here and there, but mostly I would put myself out there for free. And because I got well known for helping people and doing a good job, I tended to get people in through word of mouth, and that's generally how I work as a marketer. Most of the people who contact me are people who I've provided a good service for. I generally like to, here's my little secret, I go to a business and I recommend, hey, can I take a load of photographs for you? I'll give them to you for use on your social media, etc. So I go to the business and I take a load of photographs, send them in, and then I say to them, hey, is it all right if I upload these to my Pexels account, because they're really, really good. All of the ones which don't have people in and they're just like the inside of business premises, and occasionally they'll say yeah, but if they don't want that, that's cool. And I say, look, if you ever need a hand with anything, just let me know. I'm just round the corner, give me a call. And that's been really, really beneficial to me, because word of mouth, everybody knows other business owners, and they'll be able to say, oh yeah, I recommend this person because they've got a good knowledge in this area. So I would say when it comes to actually finding a niche, having the general knowledge is really, really good when it comes to marketing. I think I'm rambling a little bit now, but having this sort of generalist knowledge is really, really important, because you still want to be able to work outside your niche. You want to be able to show that you can do things for other companies, and building up a portfolio is really, really important. So case studies for all your businesses that you've worked with or are currently working with, you want to get all that information, combine it, put it on your website so that people can find it easily. I haven't even had real time to put it on my website. All I have is I've got some testimonials, and that's it. Testimonials are really, really great as well. So they're what somebody actually believes about your business. I've got quite a lot of testimonials from some really good people on my website who are really happy with the work that I've done for their companies. And I'm so, so honoured to have worked with some of these people. One of them has sadly passed away, and that was a real great shame. But he was an excellent, excellent business consultant, and I really miss him. Anyway, I hope that this has sort of answered your question a little bit. I would recommend definitely looking into the restaurant marketing niche. There is a huge amount of stuff that you can do for restaurants, and the majority of the time a restaurant is not going to be doing everything that can be done. So if you learn everything that can be done for a restaurant, you can come in there and you can say, well, you could be doing this, 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 and this. And also another valuable thing when it comes to restaurant marketing, I learn a huge amount about restaurants. I know what chopping boards to use. I know to look in the fridges, make sure everything's in date. I know to look through all of these different things. And if you do that and you have a good knowledge, you'll know. Let's say a restaurant's getting a lot of customers that are complaining about, say, they've got dysentery. You'll be able to go to the restaurant and say, look, you've got customers who are complaining about being ill because of your food. So we're going to have a little look in your fridge, you have a little look around, and you find out whether or not you basically troubleshoot the problem, because you do not want customers being ill. That is the worst thing to deal with, because you'll occasionally get you'll occasionally be working with a company and you'll have to deal with a huge amount of customer backlash and abuse. So when you've got when you've got a lot of this is a pain point which the company is going through. So what you want to do is you want to find a way to look into why the company's doing badly like this, and you want to get that sorted out, because you do not want to be working with a company that is developing a bad reputation, or like a restaurant business that's developing a bad reputation like this. Believe me, I found a fossilized cat in a restaurant a long time ago. It was literally behind one of the fridges, squashed almost flat, and it was covered in palm oil, like the residue that comes off of it. It was so manky and disgusting, and I am so lucky I found that when there was no one in the restaurant. And this is a restaurant that got 5 stars on its it got a 5 out of 5 on its food production and quality. How the hell does that happen, right? But anyway, yeah, so I walked into the bloody main, I walked into like the main part of the restaurant. I was like, is someone missing a cat? And they were like, what the hell is that? I was like, I found this behind your fridge. Can I take it home with me? But the thing is, it's like, it's really important to look for this kind of stuff, because if you don't find these pain points and these problems with the business, there is no way that you can really progress with them in a positive way, because you're going to get more and more negative responses on social media over time, and that is a company that you can't market for and you can't do well, because you might get people in for them, you might get them in every single week, but it doesn't matter, because they're coming in and then they're going and they're not coming back, and that is a real big problem, because there's only a certain amount of people in the area, so that's going to die over time. What you need to do is you need to just make sure you're working with a company that is, whichever niche you're in, right? You just make sure you're working with a company that has people that genuinely care about their customers. That's the most important thing, I think. Anyway, I've rambled a lot on this. I hope I've managed to answer the question. I might have got lost a little bit in the rambling, but I highly recommend restaurant marketing. Don't focus on a niche that you really want to do. You can look into it and study it and everything like that, but you may start to find that really, really taxing, and it may kill your joy for something, and you may end up being stuck in a niche where you aren't able to progress particularly easily. That's why I recommend one where it's like, restaurants are always going to be making money, and you can make them a heck of a lot more money, so I always recommend restaurant marketing. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful. You take care and have a lovely day. Bye.